Puck. Michael, sure.
Let's go Rangers.
All right, so let's talk about him. Henrik Lundqvist, 7 years, $59.5 million. There are a lot of critics, especially when I was reading the New York Daily News in the comments section. I believe we have one of those commenters, if we could pull that up very quickly. It should be Lundqvist commenter. Before we pull that up, I'm going to give you a few specifics. Let me know when you're ready, guys. In 2014-2015, he's going to make $11 million. And then it just goes down, little by little. The next year, 10. 2016-2017, 9.5. 2017-2018, 9. 2018-2019, 7.5, and then 7, and then 5.5.
It's a very top-heavy, front-loaded contract for a guy who's going to be, what, 39?
39 when the contract is up.
Over. 0 Stanley Cups,
yes.
0 Stanley Cup finals. I think that, listen, I love the Rangers. I think Lundqvist's a really good goalie. I certainly would not be giving him this kind of money. And
which goaltender would you give this kind of money to?
Well, I mean,
that's
like a great question.
Like the seasons. I mean, the Blackhawks won with Antti Niemi and Corey Crawford.
Well, but that's an argument for maybe you don't give a goalie that much money. I don't know. I mean, the goalies like Martin Brodeur that have a serious. I mean, listen, and I would lump Lundqvist into that. He's got a proven record of being effective over a long period of time.
Sure.
And not winning the Stanley Cup, certainly not his fault. The fact that they were in the playoffs at all with him is attributable in large part to him because he was the anchor to that team for a while. The Rangers pay some people a lot of money. They paid Brad Richards a lot of money.
Yes, they did.
I just don't see how giving this kind of contract to Henrik Lundqvist makes the Rangers better over the long haul. An aging goalie, there are goalies who did well. Patrick Waugh, we mentioned Brodeur did well toward the end of his career.
Sure.
So, they know better than I wouldn't put my money and resources.
No, I certainly wouldn't either, only because, again, I'm going back to my former point, and then I want to get to the commenter, is that goaltenders, they're not easy to come by. Like, we all know that. But it seems like out of any sort of major position in a sport, and especially in hockey, is a goalie maybe the most replaceable person? I mean, look, Michael Leighton took the Flyers to the
and look at Boston. They lost Taylor, and then they come in with Rask, and there they go. I mean, so you can replace. He happens to be a little more transcendent of that in New York because he's sort of the star and the face of the franchise right now. And so I think there's a little bit of that, and you reward service, and you want to keep some guys in uniform forever. Rangers have 2 guys who played between Mike Richter and Eddie Jockman, whose numbers are both retired at the Garden. They got guys who played for a long time there. So, that's something that the franchise likes. I just don't see how this is. This is a lot of money for a guy who's not young. By NHL standards.
2 big contracts.
By my standards, an infant.
2 big contracts yesterday. Jacoby Ellsbury and now Henrik Lundqvist. So here's what the commenter said. So let's pull that up. Mr. Hankey has won nothing and is being treated as though he's won 3 or 4 cups. The nonsense on this team never ends. And this is great because I want to get your take in just a moment. But hey, why stop at 7 years? How about player, coach, GM, president, owner? So with that signing, they lose the chance to sign any scorers, which they've needed since Jágr, you remember him, Hall of Famer, still better than any 2 of our players, was run out of town on a rail, barring an incredible deal in which they got Crosby for Boyle or something. 9 years, played with scores, and all D teams, 1-0, stolen no series, carried his teams nowhere. So he's going to do it now all of a sudden? The what? Why? 9 years? Gives up rebounds like a garage door, can't begin to handle the puck, shows his teammates up regularly on the ice. I don't know about that, but BS, false modesty, accountability, TV shows, commercials, 9 years, the king of what exactly? No one can answer that. In Rangerland, it's always just because other teams seek excellence. Rangers seek notoriety. Next up, more recycled veterans. I see a Gimla here at some point, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, it makes me nostalgic for being a complaining Ranger fan growing up in New York. That guy apparently in Arizona. New York and AZ is what his handle name is. He's right though. I mean, this guy's right. It's a frustrating thing being a Rangers fan. Right. And I don't know about everything. I know showing up his teammates. That's not a hallmark of Lundqvist. Maybe he's done it a few times, but no, he's probably a good teammate. The guys seem to like him, and the boys play well in front of him, and all that. Boom, boom, boom.
And he doesn't handle the puck well. I think he. Yeah. I mean, like from the games that I've seen, he looks.
He used to be much better at it. He's somebody whose puck handling skills have seemingly at big times come into, like, they've mattered, and it's strange. but you shouldn't notice a goalie's puck handling skills, and once you do, that means there's a
Oh,
problem.
you mean you should notice them like stopping shots?
Yeah,
not allowing goals.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but just it should be a thing that, like, you know, it's like blocking. It's like guards. You only know when the guard lets the guy to the quarterback.
Sure.
You don't know when he does a great play. But so stick handling puck handling with a goalie is a little bit like that. I just think that the Rangers have, you know, they're a mismanaged team. They're ass backwards when it comes to how to fix that team. They do go for these big veterans who don't deliver, and they get rid of the ones who might be able to deliver. I don't know. I mean, Jágr's a fairly good example, but not a perfect example.
Sure.
But it's sort of built into the franchise there. But I'm nostalgic for complaining Ranger fans because it's great.
By the way, a no trade and no demotion clauses in that contract as well.
Is pretty big.
Yeah, I think both of those are pretty big. Obviously, he won't get demoted, but yeah, the no trade clause is huge.